Alright, so this is me. I'm gonna show some of the other parts of what I think this is for this one. I know that everybody on this ship can see all the different factors, and then people think that they can break through these barriers, but we're working on how to build it. So we're gonna start with how to proceed backwards in the defensive motion for somebody trying to say something like that. So we have this person that we augmented right here, and then we're gonna have a pulley on the chain of their neck as they're saying that, as we create the space for it to go down like that. But if there are means to losses, we'll go to that later. So I want to show how to get the improved cut on doing that to get a certain way to make sure that this cut is straight. It's not going to take too much. And we'll play. So this part is the confidence to cut the drywall. So you take your marker here. Look, this is a marker. What is this called? See if you can. You're not gonna say what it is. Okay. So you take the marker, and then you grab the marker, and now you put it on the end of the cap right here. But you don't want to give too much suggestions on the out of control of what that was put off to be, sort of. So we drew it straight, Sharpie, perfect. So I put that right here. Now grab your karambit or whatever shiv you have. So I was trying to explain the space of the energy transfer, which is going to be explained later into our segment, Satellite 100, and how we can deal with that. I know this is a short segment, but I swear this is a math class. It's important to listen. I could be associating things with my posture as well, so if I find something that I can get that. So we have the wood, and the straight yardstick has something like that to do that. So let's take this, put it really straight, and then let me see if I can explain. But this, and really with the grasp, bringing it down. And this is like sheet rock. So and we will figure out how to get rid of excess energy. Okay, we've got it to as close. If you can, as you get it, just do this. This is for the sake of you gotta put it like this, and then the key point in doing this is not trying. See, we did not try, and got the full bent on that one right there. So let's do that. Get it to the 90 degree. It's difficult to see from here. And yes, for this situation, you're not gonna like that someone's saying something, with auditory. And no, it's not disacknowledged. If you look at the sound metering, it's going to be directly next to what that is. I could say what you just said, put it right there. We'll talk about this in a second. No, that's good. So you have it at 90 degrees until I then it looks your angle. Then I did this to show that the thing that we did, I was like, wow, I still hate myself for how bad I did that. But hey, it's still on the line. Can't even see the redness. Orange, what a coward. So my father's gone AWOL and he could not pass a second authentication factor. So he's gonna have to address some of the boys in the family. Not via this. Oh man. even though they're good for nothing. But anyways, as I was saying, is there a possible way you can see the view to the right? So you can't see it, but it's perfectly on the red. When you don't have to prove something to somebody, and then they think that the part of them that is there that they put down kind of expels on the outside, we create those densities for those values that are put there. So you're characterizing these values that you're putting onto that, what you do, which said person on chartboard brown is place themselves in new location, or the Komodo, and that Komodo is there at location, expelling the energy, which we're going to talk about in a later, a full analysis, evaluation of that situation. 100% foolproof, automatic, guaranteed life story. Promise. That's what I'm working on. Not in your benefit if you are annoying. So, anyways, that was cut. So remember, Sharpie, cut, and then 90 degree. So this, oh, remember, no effort. So when I did that, the other time we saw on the wall, there was a lot of effort. Don't do that. What if you want to do that? I mean, you should watch how you reiterate your attention coming from somebody who needs me to help them speak. Anyways, before I was interrupted by a frequency invasion or a coward or a no-show, explained it, 90 degrees, cut it on the other side, knee it, no pressure, and then it cracks, you get it to the stilt, and then you cut it. Okay. Now, is there anything else that anybody wants to see on there? It's important because when you're doing it, and then you take the time to do the measures from the right line to the left area to what you said, then you can put that to there to correct the mud on that to see if that's what was going to happen. So we're going to take some of those few things, and then I'm going to go back to you, and then we're going to talk about Satellite 100 and how we're going to put that there to create the mechanism for this better engineered machine, and then how we're going to get the time to write all those textiles to filter out the issues that we have in full scripts to get the 100% result that we want to take, that's disassociated with the 100% of ourselves, and see how we can go about that. Alright, going over here. Alright, so now we're at this. Alright, here is a view of the slideshow, and here's a focus on some of the victories. Number one, so we have designated victories to how we're gonna finesse this, and we're gonna put that on the body of the presence of the board to ulteriorate on somebody who thinks that's a lack of motive of what they're trying to do. So first thing, Satellite 100. The tank build manual to secure your vehicle. Limit variables. Take out the possibilities of what can go wrong. Have your bills pay themselves. Follow AutoMech. AutoPay. Have energy associated to the success of the outlook of your mission. Don't. Have a tank. A basis of a structure wherein you operate, such as your business that you dwell in, your house that you live in and provide in, your vehicle that you transport you and your energy with, and your money that you finance. You're going to learn pattern growth learning. We are not all in touch with the associated, do not interrupt my speech, of the feeling to what is necessary. So for 21, get a life, get a house, show up. So we make little and big improvements to compensate those areas of the continuum of our mind and presence, to accelerate in the direction and or find the dexterity to not see ourselves in the one to self frame of mind of either routine, reprogramming your robot, making sure that you take something of where you're not and don't stub your babyism into other people's lives, restructuring the rehabilitation process and becoming anew in your incorrection, designed for success in the way that was signed and dotted by life goals that you have never put down. So put down your life goals. Okay. And assist to who was signed on the most part, keeping you. Let's go back. Let's read it together. Have a tank, a basis of structure wherein you operate, such as your business that you dwell in, your house that you live in and provide in, your vehicle that you transport with. Read it. Read the next bar, dude. You're such a baby. Your vehicle that you transport yourself with. That hardly works. Your money that you finance. Bro, you're a joke. Growth is from the seed, and that is where the work starts. Do something in your favor. Method 1. Like it. Reward in your aspiration. Make this about you. Sorry, teachers. A perfect thing for the response on the auditory after looking at it. This was about you, about your victory, about how things don't affect you. So what part of you knowing that you're annoying makes you feel like you're going to do better on somebody else's time? Wow, what valuable advice. You should be thanking Darian at this moment. Alright, networking. Start in the existence of others. In flaw of advantage, this bluff of others against YouTube, the idea of themselves, is so imposed that they are not even there. Break barriers. Have basic principles for friendship. If you are on my Facebook or phone, then you are at access to me, so you are my friend. Talk to me in Insta, then a follower. Even though it may sound bad and that this person doesn't know how to be full of themselves and doesn't put that, I'm sick of babying my cousin because he is just scared to do anything. Talk about me, then a denier. Hey, look, inanimate word to denier. Hey, I think nobody's my cousin at this point. Backward employment are employees that work behind my back for themselves, damaging my back end, thinking mistrust. For the real personality of that, these people at work occupancy have pictures of you, have your address. The world is in motion, despite you thinking that it's not happening. Forward employees are things in front of me that I utilize in my knowingly life, such as doctors, chiropractors, doors, gyms, friends. Let's say, hey, I speak from what I speak clearly, and I'm not working any angles, and this is a controller I use to talk. I don't like girls or value relationships if the depiction of having support equals lies and not being able to help get a car outside of the road. A random helps out and you're forever in the trust of how the mind works, a less participant in someone's life, and at that point, dead ends have to be met, said, and enforced. Or I act against myself and not others, so I become intolerable. Start over, nothing means anything, and nobody ever cared about you and has shown that they have cared other than spiritual blindness and popularity. Not spiritual relationship in suggestive grievances and inadequacies. Memory. We go to bed with all the issues in the world, then blam, the alarm rings, and we are the exact same person in the same position as where we started. Nice husband, car on a loan, paid by our husband, separate jobs, monkeying around, laying the bed sheets with forgetfulness, going to work with a short scope, or I worked and busted my ass. I don't care about a single soul. I will destroy the world if you get in my way. I stay near what I know and I don't mess around. I keep the facts close and don't find myself too far in the illustration, illustrious addiction of my actions. To remember that fact, tonight is tomorrow's morning. Facts are numbers, or facts are facts. Maybe I'm jealous of the girl that's independent or the one who made it in an unfair way, or I hate that I'm dormantly competitive and that I define those scripts from jealousy. Jealousy is a trail of motive, and once in those lengths, acceptance can help us breathe into us and what we want to do. Run away from jealousy. Take today and go to bed. There is a way, and don't want anyone who seems too angelic to go unpassed by evil. Horizon. Have your mathematical plan set to where you are going to be. And what is the question? Simple, forward timed math and access to the end of the year savings. 8,000 divided by 12, 666 a month, 9,000, 12, 750 a month, 10,000, 12, 833 a month, 11,000, 12, 916, 66 a month, 12,000, 1,000 a month. Contingency plan. Listen to the enemies, and then it's like ... We're fine, we're good. Failure. What are the denominations of failure? Write them down. Death, disease, personal turmoil, poverty, amortization, annoyance, jealousy. Have any of these things happened? No, we are still exploring victory. After all that every day, we can still be winners. It was more of what was point as is, but can be in question. Energy war. How do we stop energy transfer or invasive entities who are using mediums such as energy, as in heat, density, mental synchronicity, suggestion, hypnotism, frequencies, intelligence, and location-based? Team? Oh, we are screwed. After a battalion of refuting inefficiencies, ungraded energy transfer amalgamated in the consummation of intent, created all energy gamma control room that recoils backfire with energy at site location from whatever power rooted by could be contact radius. Or that in itself, what is itself, is that it is itself. But I'm taking the concept of what this is as more effective. This intellectual return is called letter O. For the safety of the circle, power of the circle. Close the door for answers for others. Ban nap neck chi attacks. Do not expel energy from your thinking to a blind spot. Show character, face to face, lack intent. Mentor others to build for themselves so they don't become your problem. Remind crew equivalent exchange. AIR and no ing. AIR is the thing that is not for the inconclusive of the self, or that turn on the convex of what is that, and then ing is the controlling attachment of the conducting energy to the reason of it happening. Air is undefined, and it goes by undefined. And these things are all like intimate, open, and completely shared. For the small spot of that, hey, you choose to anyways. Remind crew, equivalent exchange, air, no ing. Hey, you chose to anyways. Good for acknowledging yourself. Now don't play Pokemon and have a good life. You're the only one who wants to be in it. Hypocritically correct. Where does bad energy go? Hopefully hell. Good news. What goes around comes around. Wow. That's an ing right there, if I say so. Now, hopefully you enjoy your experiment and come back with a lot of information on the energy transfer test. So, thank you for watching. I know it's like it's difficult to bear, but this is some pretty exclusive content, I say. So I like that. So when you get to look at us and you get those judgments of what you think, then you get to know that there's a set chain of denomination failures, commands that run in our ship. It's not accident that what I chose for those situations and my ability for that. I know it's a bit louder how I put this one, that it's really recommended down to the more 50%. And when I'm watching stuff, I'm always doing it to where the mixer is a bit lower. So yes, that's kind of where we're at. It is I get to see the feedback. So if you liked it, is there any more specific details for any crew members of that somebody is okay on the method? There is a color wheel that I have associated to all the crew members, so it's not like you can off-point your existence on so it must be, so the frequencies is, it's like processing what your viewpoint of this is at that time. So I think you're gonna lose, but good luck fighting against my ship. So is there any other comments from any crew members or anybody? I say like a lot of the stuff that we did bad, that it's surprising that it's like that. But don't go farther for a stretch of anything else. We're gonna wrap this up in a minute. It's alright, so catch who probably. Catching you is inferring that you're doing something to be caught to me, that you're doing to me against me. So what am I catching you doing to get caught from something that you are doing? Why not just follow appropriate procedure so you do not contaminate energy transfer? Blue. What about blue? Yeah, alright, we'll do a test on opening the colors for that one. It's called protecting my well-being with field control. What I say about my safety is, how does the thrift body Omega Omastar that situation, because they put themselves there. Yeah, I know if I put all defenses on side at rest that it's a great position, and why would I put myself above the tank to get shot? But thinking about the denominations and the numerations between the difference of the experiences and the reality, as long as those that like mental switches, like there are the different, like a pathos that is locked, as long as it doesn't disconnect to my mech of what I'm trying to do, that it's not too disassociated to the design of progression, then there's little to no risk. I'm the commander of my vessel on the extended business, on the business agreement at the Ruby contract, on the 28 contract. Then those are negotiated, and in my design for the person, then a fortune cookie is taken away when the proper tasks to that are off board. So something always has that there's an entity that contrives the build of what we have established. It's kind of a bit much. It's a bit ingrateful. So, a crew member is having family issues with a person who needs to step up, and their heat to the person not doing that, that's obvious. I wasn't so super to be able to figure that out. So, how are you gonna have your said dad trying right here, and then you staying on this system that there's an energy that's like a meteor, and then it stays right here, and then it detracts from that gravitational thing, except it goes back there and then kind of causes a problem, doesn't it? And then everybody at that ship is locked into there, and then we're getting hit with this meteor rotator, this comet. We can't have this person throwing comets daily. It's sorry, but it'll be in the decision of the lieutenant of the field, the low 4 lieutenant. That is the below. Commander is the below lieutenant, and that. Is there anything else? We're gonna take some time to meditate for this minute so you can get to know yourself and where satellite 100 is. And this is a full combatant, so I'm totally willing to hear the exchange of energy through even cars about, and just in awe at that, but in any method at that defense. If you're just gonna say they're crazy, then you can look at that I've been looking at what you've been saying. Oh, I am going. So, I do have some precautions, but I'm not all the way there. There is a layer of Honeywell, and it is challenging via the device. These are commonalities between the pieces of the 28, and it has to be 28 for the real study, and it's a participation of us all. So it could have been that was definitely the Honeywell circuit. the that activated that click right there. It's right on. It's right on the device. It says Honeywell on it. So it's been the most interested in watching me, if anyone. Well, my goals for Satellite 100 is to get it to a good point. Satellite 100 was based on personal development, whether it had real machines to it. Satellite 1000 was a business-based format. So I want to get where the neck or anticipation associated with the feed on some kind of device in rotation that works by light. So like positive or photons in the build of just shooting the things of what positive would be to you. So that the rest of putting that information and then tapping the next one. So your prefixture of how it resonates on the reset of what you think is that thing. It's like a push. I can show example with my hands. So this is the tapping, and I'm gonna, well, what should it say? Well, hopefully nothing. It's banned. Oh, yeah, right. I want that part shifted to the front. So instead of anticipation forward, defense to that being set us straight. So we learn to avoid things correctly. Maybe it's a chiropractor. Maybe not. Those things are evident. Hey, you can look at it whatever way. It's still something. It's like, I don't know. It's questionable. We're gonna work on the things that we know, and even in theory, for the things that we know that we can't really make progress on, even if it's right there, like it's right there. I already know what it is, know the location, know the direction. That's all there is to it. As my position on the 28, I cannot put myself any further than what happens to my being. I wish I print this like this. Alright, this will be the end of this call. I think some of the other parts were bad, but I looked at the audio, or I listened to the audio right now, and we got some 8 beeps on there again. There was those are the preliminary 1 to 10 characters that you get to choose on my field, and have builds, and pretty much it's not like, given the options of the choices that you get, that what character has no options left. I don't really see that as any concern. Alright, that'll be all for now. I gotta get to bed. I wanna make some burgers and stuff, and yeah, it's a rough life working in the contracting base, and not really. Well, and I want to get my voice back, so it's attached to my body and my neck as I convey it. Like there's a lag time, even if I have earplugs in or even I have them out. That's like my mouth is before like I'm feeding data from like a dead brain to my mouth, and it's annoying. There's something, no conclusions to what you get to say for that, and the monkey project is kind of like, well, it's dumb to say something's a project as you say that, but I'm gonna see if I can take that person who says cringe. We're gonna take an example of a body. All right, person who said cringe. Try to say your name. Try to spell punk. I'm gonna take a cloud and then I'm gonna squish it. As far as anybody on the season 2 on the follow, nobody in our family has tried to establish contact via what was a GSM switched turned into an overbody acquisitional at rest, which 21 chose to propagate themselves on what is set up as a duel later in life, where we're running on that. That'll be taken into a whole nother way, and then I had called the facilitators of this person, and turns out incomplete sentences on feelings. Then my lieutenant got into contact with their facilitator and then addressed that to their company. I haven't heard so much from that. That's pretty much all it is. This one's a bit too long, and I know somebody is wanting to take the bid to try it, but Hound is looking at this and has information that, like, I have to know more about the story of the Hound, because that previous officer, level 4 officer to us, has key significance in connecting the dice of the motive of ulterior guilds on the wrong conclusive to a main theme of a center medium is not what is the body of a correct motto that doesn't create this ing error issue. None of these motions are to do anything outside of the primer of these declared values. Somebody has gone AWOL with a fire ability and continues to try to take actions on other people in the crew. So red is in a concern, and I don't want to give up that color yet. Anyways, let's not have it run and see how it processes.